We just had the NASCAR Cup Series Championship not that long ago. Time really flies. And congratulations to Joey Logano winning the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Hey, it's PJ. Today I'm going to talk about the Daytona 500. For many years, the Daytona 500 had many different winners throughout the years. I'm really excited to see what NASCAR will bring to the table in 2023. Tyler Reddick is now in the number 45 car. He is now replacing Kurt Busch that used to be in the number 45 car. Kurt Busch has confirmed that he is no longer going to drive in the NASCAR Cup Series for a full season. I'm really hoping that Kurt is doing well, and I hope he enjoys his retirement. Ty Gibbs is now in the number 54 car, replacing the number 18. Unfortunately, the number 18 car is no longer going to be in the NASCAR Cup Series anymore. I remember seeing the number 18 car of Bobby Labonte with the Interstate Batteries car. Legendary paint scheme. I really think that Ty Gibbs really races dirty. For an example, in the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the Martinsville Speedway, Ty Gibbs just drove right through Brandon Jones. I don't blame Brandon Jones to be very upset on what happened. This was a must-win for Brandon Jones, either win or miss the playoffs. Kyle Busch is now with Richard Children's Racing. This is really a huge step forward for Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has been struggling with the Daytona 500 in the past years under Joe Gibbs. They've been trying their hardest to get into the front and staying there, and every time they try to lead laps, they think they would have it. All of a sudden they get into a situation that is not their fault, either having engine problems or being in a huge wreck. He just cannot really get anything going like he did when he won the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Martin Truex Jr. is another driver that has been struggling in the 2022 season. Truex has been struggling on the Daytona 500. He has tried so hard to win the Daytona 500 many times. He comes so close of winning it, and something happens, either he's involved in somebody else's wreck, whatever it is. Martin Truex Jr. will have like the worst luck ever. Martin Truex Jr. had 4 top 5s and 15 top 10s with 0 wins and finishing 17th in the points. This was not good for Martin Truex Jr. at all. It was not like they were not running up front or they had a very good car to be in the front. They just had really bad luck. Even during Homestead, they got turned around in the pit lane. Nothing went their way at all. I really feel horrible for Martin Truex Jr. I really hope that his 2023 season goes much better than 2022. And I'm sorry for Martin Truex Jr. fans out there. Bringing up 2022 is really hard for you guys. I'm hoping that Martin Truex Jr. does win the Daytona 500. He is one of the drivers that is one of my predictions to win the Daytona 500. They have shown time and time again that they can be in front, they can lead laps, and that Bass Pro Shops car is just really well done. Paint schemes in NASCAR is just not what they used to be. It's not even iconic anymore. You don't have Hot Wheels, you don't have M&Ms. Kyle Petty's mellow yellow car is something I do remember as a kid. This car was so incredible. Bubba Wallace is one of my other predictions for the Daytona 500. Bubba Wallace has finished in 2nd place in the Daytona 500 twice, one of them being in the number 43 car with Richard Petty. They have shown they have been in front and led some laps. Bubba Wallace also won at the NASCAR Cup Series at Kansas Speedway, replacing Kurt Busch in the number 45 car. People were not really happy because Bubba Wallace switched his number and they had Ty Gibbs replacing the number 23 car. Why does it matter if it was 23 or 45? Like it or not, Bubba Wallace did deserve that win, and it was not range shortened or anything like that. I've seen other drivers win in range shortened races before. This isn't the first time. We'll see how Bubba Wallace does during the Daytona 500. Jimmie Johnson is coming back in the NASCAR Cup Series for the Daytona 500 in the number 84 car. I question this decision from Jimmie Johnson. I never thought he would actually come back to the NASCAR Cup Series. Even though this is a questionable decision by Jimmie Johnson, I'm wishing him nothing but the best for 2023. Trackhouse Racing has been very impressive in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2022, with Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez also won a NASCAR Cup Series race at Sonoma. I wouldn't be surprised seeing either Ross Chastain or Daniel Suarez taking the checkered flag at the Daytona 500. The other thing I do want to bring up is the racing itself at the Daytona 500. I'm really hoping that the racing is a little bit more exciting than we had in the previous years. For an example, the 2001 Daytona 500, where the pack racing was exciting. Back then, the drivers were smarter, they were giving people space, they knew what they were doing, and nowadays, drivers are just really too aggressive. to the point that they will start bumping other drivers into the corners. The cars are probably more lighter now than they were back then. It takes nothing for somebody to spin that person out. I don't want to see a repeat of the 2021 Daytona 500 when drivers were actually in a single file with 2 laps to go. I think that is just really unnecessary. People spend tons of money to see amazing racing. And if you're gonna have single file racing throughout the end of the race, they're not going to like the outcome of it. People do not want to see that. It's the Daytona 500. You gotta make your move. Anyway, I'd love to hear your predictions for the Daytona 500. What are your predictions? Love to hear them. If you guys want to see more videos from me, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and comment. I hope you guys are doing well, and take care.